I'm Lisa Redburn. I think of myself as a fine art photographer, but one of the exciting things about this show is it brought out the part of me that really likes to make things with my hands. So I started out thinking, the ugly side, the ugliness revealed. Naturally went to the garden. The garden is very much not just my muse, but kind of my visual creative language. A lot of my work involves pictures of flowers, often transformed. So I watched my lilies do their thing, huge divas, just extraordinary, and then transform into kind of monster-like creatures. And the fact that they had those 6 amazing heads coming out. So I spent a lot of time in the garden getting pollen all over myself, looking up, looking down. But I wasn't so sure it was working for this show. And then I woke up one night at like 4 in the morning and I go, I need to make something 3-dimensional. They need to be able to reach out. So I went and I found a book a friend had lent me, a photographer friend, but a book about making paper flowers. And she hadn't really liked it, and I looked at it and it didn't speak to me. But that night I went down and I found it, and I went through the pages. I was looking for lilies initially, and I came to the page with the opium poppies. And it was like, die! It's like I had always had, I don't right now in my garden in Massachusetts, but I'd always had some opium poppies in my garden, and they're just incredibly delicate. They dance around in the garden. The plants are kind of ugly, and you don't have much control over where they plant themselves. But the real reason I thought it fit this is the very ugly side of opiates or of any addiction. And so it was a really, I hate to say fun, but it was a really fun project to work on because I could do it on my terms, not being overwhelmed by all the horrible things happening in the world and the suffering. And I could actually just be putting color on crepe paper and very gently massaging crepe paper into petal-like forms. It was very calming and meditative. And then wrapping the stems. And then I thought, oh my God, what am I going to do with these poppies? And and I hadn't read very much of the book at that point, but I'd started reading and I go, oh, what about that clay piece I made years ago that's been sitting on a shelf in the back of some area where nobody notices? It always felt like it had openings and it was sort of ugly, but I loved it. And sure enough, something I made years ago needed to be transformed into the cave for Scylla to grow out of. So it's just fascinating how the things you do as an artist, when you do them, you have no idea where they're going. Anyway, so and then I thought, how do I make, so it was a little too pretty, even though I made my poppies dark colors. They were still kind of, I don't know, they still pulled you in. And I thought, all right, but where's the hook? And I said that to myself, oh, we need some hooks. So there's some fish hooks sort of hidden throughout, because that's so much what addiction is. That hook, we're lured by what makes us feel better, and then it doesn't, it ruins our lives.